So today I'm going to show you one of Mumbai's iconic dishes, Pao Bhaji. Pao is basically bread rolls and Bhaji is a vegetable curry. But this is a vegetable curry like no other. This is one of my favorite street foods from Mumbai. It's vegetarian, but if you want to make it vegan, just swap the butter for vegan butter. This is one of the easiest recipes to do. If you can cut and boil vegetables, you're sorted. You don't need any more skills. So before I show you how to create one of my favorite dishes, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the history of how Pao Bhaji came to be. If you want to skip that part, just look out for the timestamps below and skip straight to the recipe. See, Pao Bhaji has its origin in the Civil War of America in the 1860s. Because of the Civil War, there was a huge demand for cotton. Due to this, the cotton mill workers were exploited and expected to work late into the night. Also, the traders at the Bombay Cotton Exchange used to be very busy, especially during the night when the new cotton rates used to be telegrammed to America. Because of this, they used to finish work very late and they had nowhere to eat. And this would affect their work performance the next day. The street food vendors needed to make something that was cheap, easy, and delicious. So the street food chefs collected all the vegetables from the day, mashed it up, added some spices, and served it with buttered bread rolls known as pao, which was collected as a leftover from the Jesuit churches in the local area. And that's how the humble Pao Bhaji was born on the streets of Mumbai. We'll begin by assembling all your ingredients. The list of all the ingredients is in the description below. So we are going to start off by cutting and boiling the potatoes. See, I'm not going to bother peeling the potatoes because that's where all the flavor and nutrition is. So while the potato is boiling, we are going to get the veg prepped. Get your onion and slice it, followed by a bell pepper. I'll show you the most efficient way to cut a bell pepper. Cut the top and the bottom off, open your pepper up, cut through the ribs and take out your seeds. Pop the stem off and start slicing it. Cutting this way will ensure minimum wastage. We'll need some cauliflower and some broccoli. I'll also be using the cauliflower leaves and the stem, and the same with the broccoli. I won't be wasting any part of the broccoli or the cauliflower. Cut the cauliflower into small florets. Every part of the cauliflower is edible, so make sure to use it. This will not only minimize waste, but will also add flavor to your Pao Bhaji. We'll be doing the same with the broccoli. Next, we are going to finely chop some ginger and garlic. Actually, I have this mortar and pestle, so I'm going to put my ginger and garlic in this. But if you don't have one, then finely chop your ginger and garlic. Mashing it with a mortar and pestle will help release loads of flavor. Finally dicing some red onions. See, the finely diced red onions are going to be used as a crunchy garnish on top of your Pao Bhaji to give it that spicy note. We'll be using all parts of the coriander, including the roots, because it has loads of flavor. And finally, slice some lemon. Once the potatoes are boiled, it's time to strain it. Don't throw out the potato starch water just yet. It still has flavor and it still has nutrition. So we are going to use some of it for my bhaji, which is the vegetable gravy mix. And we are going to use the rest of it to water my plants up there. Before we start cooking, I want to speak about this. See, in India, we get the spice blend called the Pao Bhaji mix, which has all the spices mixed in it already. So I'm going to swap this with some other spices you should be able to easily find in your pantry or from the shop. Add your oil, add your onions, your ginger and garlic. Saute it for a few minutes until it's translucent. Next, you'll be adding your spices like garam masala, coriander powder, turmeric, and chili powder. We are now going to let this cook for 10 to 15 minutes on a low flame. This will help infuse all the flavors and help the onions release that sweetness. Occasionally lift it up, give it a mix to make sure it's not burning. See, if you like this video and love the work I'm doing, make sure to subscribe to my channel. After 15 minutes, add your tomatoes and give it a mix. Put the lid on and cook for another 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, add your potatoes and mash it up. Now we'll be adding 400 ml of the potato starch water, followed by your cauliflower and your broccoli. Give it a mix. Add your salt and a little bit of sugar. See, the sugar will cut through the acidity of the tomato and it will give you a well-balanced sauce. Add your bell peppers and give it a mix. See, we are going to cover and let this cook on a gentle simmer for 10 to 15 minutes, which will help infuse all the flavors into the potatoes, into those vegetables, and give you that amazing taste in Pao Bhaji. Occasionally take your lid off and give it a mix. Look at that. Look at that. I am so happy. And after 15 minutes, and at the very end, add your peas and your coriander. And there you have it, your deliciously easy Pao Bhaji is ready. Once you try this recipe, you'll know why the people of Mumbai are in love with this iconic dish from the streets of Mumbai. At the very end, taste for seasoning, and if you need to add some salt, add some salt. That's the bhaji part done, and now let's get the pao ready. See, the only way to enjoy Pao Bhaji is with pao, which is basically bread rolls, and I'm going to show you how to pimp up this bread roll to use for your Pao Bhaji. First, we'll be slicing the bread into half. To open it, heat a pan, add a dollop of butter, some chili, turmeric, garam masala, and give it a mix. Once it's sauteed for a few minutes, add your bread pieces to soak up that spice butter mix. Toast it for a few minutes until it's golden brown, and that's it ready. I know this might seem like a lot of butter, but this is nothing compared to the butter they use back home in Mumbai. So that's your pao ready, and now what we have all been waiting for. Let's eat some Pao Bhaji. When you serve your Pao Bhaji, make sure to sprinkle it with loads of red onions, coriander, butter, and a squeeze of lemon juice. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week.